that I was being deceived by the Christian faith was the so-called prophecies that they were saying.
Shalom, Patrick.
Shalom, Rabbi. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So this week, I would like to ask you, what were the specific questions that you saw going out of your Christian background that made you think that something was not absolutely right, and you decided to start your research to find the deeper truth?
Well, where it really had me really starting to think that I was being deceived by the Christian faith was the so-called prophecies that they were saying that there was going to be a return during this period of time and a return during this period of time, and it seemed like the can just kept getting kicked down the road. It was always going to be this 5-minute time frame. They always tried to, in order to convince everybody, they tried to somehow connect it to the Jewish people and to Israel with their timeline to legitimize it. And at the end of the day, when you see that it just didn't add up, then it had me really questioning it. And so I dug deeper into the study.
And how did I don't know if you were by living with your parents still then, how did your parents react to that? Did you tell them that you were leaving Christianity?
Well, I mean, I was brought up in it for the most part, mostly on with my mother, but I went through multiple different denominations in the Christian religion. I was originally Catholic, raised Catholic, then went to Baptist, then Methodist, studied with the Witnesses, studied with the Mormons, did the non-denominational route, and pretty much, and then I'd say around when I was around 20, then my father then got into Christianity, and then he kind of brought me towards the Seventh-day Adventist group, and kind of went into the Seventh-day Adventist studying for quite some time, and then from Seventh-day Adventist kind of went into what they call Messianic Judaism.
Right?
Yeah. And that was kind of towards the end of the connection with the Christian faith.
And that's when you started changing the how do you call the fake prophet, right? From to the Hebrew name and that stuff, right? Yeshu. Right.
Well, the Adventist taught that they had a prophet Ellen White, which was a woman, and they said that she was prophesizing stuff, but really she was just giving her own spin and translation of the Christian Bible. It really wasn't any new information or anything prophesized, and other than that, most of the Christian religion, they really didn't teach you much as far as having a connection or relationship with God. It was all about Jesus. Everything was Jesus, and it really confused me why I couldn't have a direct connection with God, and why I had to go through through something to get to Jesus, when previously in the Tanakh, the Torah, nobody had to go through anything to have a relationship with God. They had the direct connection. So what was that change? Where did that change come about? Well, it came about because it was made up that you needed to have that. You don't need anything to have a relationship or connection with God, except yourself.
Exactly right. So at that point, you understood that the Trinity was something that was made up and decontextualized, that contradicted the true monotheism that was prophesied by Torah, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, nowhere in the Torah is nobody discusses the Trinity, and if it was that big of a thing, which the Christian religion has made it such a big thing, if it was that big of a thing, wouldn't they be talking about it all through the Torah? Wouldn't that be like a huge point of conversation all through, that people would be discussing the Trinity? And but it just isn't. It's not. And the Christians do try to twist a couple of the verses into saying that that's what it's insinuated is Trinity. But for being such a huge thing, if it was that important, I think it would be discussed way more in the Torah than a couple innuendos that they are calling it.
Definitely. Okay, Patrick. So thank you for sharing with us today and this week's podcast for the Noahide Academy. I hope that your words inspire others to see a little bit more clear and hasten their path of personal redemption, like you just mentioned yourself, to have a direct relationship with HaShem. And looking forward to see you again next week.
Yep, me as well. Thank you.
If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.